The Fortress of Knowledge proudly presents a story from 1948, Pray for Rain, the story of Warren Spahn and Johnny Sain. The summer of 1948 was long and heavy for the Boston Braves. Baseball in those days was more than a game. It was a lifeline for a nation still healing from war. Stadiums filled again with fathers and sons, with returning soldiers and factory workers, all looking for something steady, something familiar. The Braves were a good team, scrappy, focused, and determined. But as the season wore on, one truth became clear. They didn't have enough arms to last. Their rotation was thin, the bullpen unreliable, and the pennant race relentless. And yet, in the midst of all that strain, two men stood apart. Warren Spahn, the left-handed craftsman, calm, intelligent. He threw like he thought, with calculation and control. Johnny Sain, the right-handed workhorse, direct, fearless. He pitched like a man challenging the world to try him one more time. Together, they were opposites, mirror images bound by endurance. When one rested, the other carried the weight. And day after day, through the grind of late summer, it began to feel like the entire season rested on just two shoulders. By September, the Braves were in the fight of their lives, chasing a pennant that had eluded Boston for decades. Spahn and Sain were pitching constantly, nearly every other day. Their teammates would joke that the rest of the rotation was just there to watch. In truth, there wasn't much joking left. Newspapers took notice of the impossible rhythm. The Boston Post ran a small poem, written by sports writer Gerald Hearn, meant as humor maybe, but soon to become legend. First we'll use Spahn, then we'll use Sain. Then an off day, followed by rain. Back will come Spahn, followed by Sain, and followed, we hope, by 2 days of rain. What began as wit soon became ritual. Fans repeated it in bars, in barber shops, in the bleachers at Braves Field. Radio announcers quoted it before games. Children learned it by heart. Because it wasn't just clever. It was true. Without rest, without reprieve, Spahn and Sain were the only thing holding the dream together. So when clouds gathered, Boston didn't groan. They prayed, not for a miracle, just for weather. Just one day of rain to stop the clock and let their pitchers breathe. In that strange September, hope didn't fall from the sky. It was the sky. And the rain did come, more than once. Enough to stretch the rotation. Enough to give the Braves time to fight another day. They finished the season on a remarkable run. 12 games in 12 days, 8 of them won by those two men alone. By month's end, the Boston Braves were National League champions for the first time in 34 years. They lost the World Series to Cleveland, but that hardly mattered. In the stands and in the papers, Spahn and Sain had already become myth, symbols of endurance, of work, of the quiet belief that you could do more than anyone thought possible. Years later, Warren Spahn would become the winningest left-hander in history. Johnny Sain would move into coaching, teaching others what persistence really meant. But nothing ever quite captured them like that moment in 1948, when a weary city watched the clouds and whispered the same line together. First we'll use Spahn, then we'll use Sain, and pray for rain. Even now the phrase remains, not just as a relic of baseball history, but as a kind of human truth. When you've given everything, when your strength runs thin, you look to the sky and hope for just enough time to recover. It wasn't luck that carried them, and it wasn't rain alone. It was resolve, 2 men, 1 team, and the simple grace of one more day to keep going. That was the summer of Spahn and Sain, and the prayer that still echoes through the long, quiet innings of time.